about, Paul Ricoeur is analyzing the aspect of symbols and how symbols are helping us to gives rise to thought, and how symbols are able to, how symbols are able to give us thought, means able to help us to think about existence, give meaning to existence. So that's a very important understanding of Paul Ricoeur, that symbols. And here, once again, he is trying to explain, once again he is trying to explain the symbol of evil. And he says there are two more possibilities or two explanations. There are two explanations to explain the symbol of evil or the reality of evil. There are two explanations to explain to us the symbol of evil, two explanations. One is that of Immanuel Kant, philosopher Immanuel Kant. One is that of philosopher Immanuel Kant. Now, what does Kant say about evil? What does Kant say about evil? According to Kant, evil in the world is explained by a purely moral vision of the world. Evil in the world is explained by a purely moral vision of the world. By a purely moral vision of the world. Or this is an ethical vision of the evil. He explains evil from an ethical perspective. Explains evil from an ethical perspective. He says, according to Kant, gives it. It is the position of Job's friends. We are talking about Job's friends, who want to see evil as a fault of the liberty of Job. That is the explanation given by Kant. He says, Job's friends come and say that, why are you suffering? Why are you suffering? Because of your God is not doing well and there is nothing in you. It is the position of Job's evil. This is in fact also the position of Kant, who sees evil as a subversion of the moral maxim by human liberty. According to Kant, there are a few moral maxims, M-A-X-I-M-S. Maxim means moral laws, moral declarations. Kant has said, Kant has given us a few moral laws or moral declarations. Kant has spoken about a few moral laws or moral declarations, moral maxims they are called. What are these? For example, he says, you do to what Jesus, what he said. If you want to be good to others, you be good to them. Simple. Or you want others to be good to you, you be good to others.
Golden rule.
Or another important moral maxim of Immanuel Kant is, act in such a way that your behavior can become a universal law. Act or behave in such a way that whatever the action you do or the behavior you have can become the universal law. You should act in such a way that whatever you do can be done by all. Act in such a way that whatever you do can be done by all. For example, my friend Gleason says that, Father, I believe in fighting. Fighting is all right. I am a strong man. Fighting is all right. I will play, while playing basketball, I will hammer somebody. And I ask him, Gleason, is it okay? Of course it is okay, Father. What's the problem? If Gleason says that, naturally, what does it mean? That everyone who is strong can hit the other in the basketball court. Everyone who is strong can hit the other in the basketball court. So here, Gleason among his classmates may be strong. Next time Gleason goes to, I don't know, some
Jerosa,
other place to
Jerosa,
play. And there is a
Jerosa,
heavy built fellow, stronger than Blizzard.
Jerosa.
And he gives a physical kick to Blizzard. And Blizzard
Jiroda
said,
Father.
why did you kick me? Why did you kick me? He said, this is your policy, principle. Anybody who is strong can hit the other.
Jerosa.
That is the policy you made. Now we are following that policy. Is the example clear?
Yes, Father.
Yes, Father.
Ah, now you understood. You understood. So if you say that during my class, I want to sleep, and I ask Rakesh, why are you sleeping? Or I ask my friend, this fellow, Denzil, why are you sleeping?
Father, I'm
Denzil
awake.
says, Denzil says,
Dominic.
what's the problem? I want to sleep whenever I want to sleep. What is your problem? If Denzil says, next time, after some years, if Denzil becomes a priest and he is celebrating Mass, and during that time people sleep, and Denzil is shouting from the pulpit, why are you sleeping? How come you sleep? People will say, this is your principle. Whenever I feel like sleeping, I sleep. Now we feel, when you preach, we feel like sleeping here. Therefore, we sleep. Denzil, are you there?
Yes,
Yes,
Father.
Father. Slept.
Okay. He's not sleeping now because he understood that.
I'm active, Father.
You are there. Okay, okay. Because you have eaten 7 dosas. After 7 dosas, how you can? That's not. Anyway. So, Lance, and am I clear? Example clear. Dominic, is the example clear? I wanted to take out your name, but I did
Father,
not
I
take
am clear.
today. Okay. Did not take your
Took my
name.
name, Father.
So, okay.
Instead of him, you took my name.
Okay. So, Sugesh, are you there? Sugesh is.
Father.
You are there. Okay, thank you. So you see, this is the position of Kant. So Kant says, why there is moral evil? Because moral evil is we break a universal law. When we break a universal law, we break. When we break evil. So this is the explanation given by Kant. The ethics of Immanuel Kant speaks about evil and why there is an evil. Evil is nothing but a break from the universal law. And what is a universal law? Universal law, I said, is the maxim developed by Kantian ethics, ethics of Immanuel Kant. For Ricoeur, this explanation is okay, but it is very limited. For Ricoeur, this explanation is okay, but it is very limited. Why it is limited? Because it does not speak totality of the evil. Breaking a law need not be the cause. Breaking a law need not be the everything of evil. So the explanation of Kant, according to Ricoeur, is very, very narrow and limited. There is another explanation of evil, which is also found to a certain extent among the Christians, Christian understanding, that evil is for a greater good. Evil is for a greater good. Suffering is for a greater good. That's another explanation. Evil is or suffering is for a greater good. So, according to this explanation, no, something greater good will come through the evil. Sometimes evil is required for a greater good. Sometimes evil is required for a greater good. So if there is evil or when there is suffering, something more good will come. This is another explanation. So he says, this explanation also is insufficient. This explanation also is insufficient because many times evil may not, good may not come through the evil at all. Now Corona has come, we don't know any good is coming, I don't know. Many times evil need not bring good at all. You see? So there is an explanation, but this explanation need not be a complete explanation. It explains something, but it need not give us full answer to the question of evil. So what answer can we give to the question of evil? What answer can we give to the question of evil? Paul Ricoeur says that evil is a reality which we cannot understand fully. Evil is a reality which we cannot understand fully. Evil is a reality which we have to pass through, go through. Perhaps we have to have a meaningful understanding and see meaning, somewhere some meaning. So the enigma of evil, the reality of evil should help us to see, is there a meaningful history? Is there a meaning in our life? And here Paul Ricoeur is going to St. Paul's explanation. St. Paul's explanation where he says, there where the sin has abounded, grace has overabounded. Means we have to see evil more from a religious perspective, and religious perspective can give us some meaning to the question of evil. But we cannot get total understanding of evil at all. We cannot get total understanding of evil. So it is in this line of thought, Paul Ricoeur develops another aspect of human life, that is the confession and forgiveness, the concept of forgiveness. The concept of forgiveness. As a philosopher, he develops the concept of forgiveness. The concept of forgiveness. He says, if the evil is not as profound as the goodness, the forgiveness of the offenses becomes possible. You see, evil, misery, all these are factors of life. We cannot escape from them. There is so much of evil in the world. But one of the things that we can do in the face of evil, in the face of misery, is forgiveness. In his book, The Memory, History and Forgetfulness, that is the title of the book. I think our friend has circulated the books of Paul Ricoeur. Have a glance on that. Rajesh has, I think, has given the list of the books. So he says, where there is pardon, where there is forgiveness, lot of evil can be healed. Lot of evil can be healed. Lot of evil can be healed. Forgiveness goes beyond all sort of evil. Forgiveness goes beyond all sort of fault. Forgiveness goes beyond all sorts of human weakness. Forgiveness is generosity. Another thing which he speaks very powerfully, and a beautiful statement that he has made, which you have to remember not only for philosophy, but even for life, which is a beautiful statement made by Paul Ricoeur, not only for philosophy, but also for life. He says, in forgiveness, what we do, in forgiveness, what we see, in forgiveness, what we do, and in forgiveness, what we see, forgiveness we see or we do is we see the person is more valuable, more superior, more worthy than its acts. In forgiveness, In forgiveness, man is more valuable. Man is more valuable. In forgiveness, man is more valuable, more superior, more worthy than his or her acts. Than his or her acts. In forgiveness, what we do? Man or human person is more valuable, more superior, more worthy than his acts. So it's a beautiful statement. When you do forgiveness, what do? We say that human person who has committed a blunder, it is true, he has committed or she has committed a blunder or a mistake. But while forgiving, what do? I think of that person is more than that mistake that he committed. I consider the person is more than that mistake he had committed. Suppose my friend Dominic Savio, when he gets angry, he hits you. My friend Dominic Savio, he gets very angry sometimes. And he may come and hit you in the basketball court. He's very angry. But when he comes out, you say, Dominic, I forgive you because you are more than what you did in the basketball court. You are not. I cannot. Just one act cannot make you a wicked man. You are more than the one act that you. So forgiveness makes us enables us to look at the person more than the little act that he did. Are you able to catch me?
Yes, Father.
Are you able to understand?
Yes, Father.
Yes, sir.
Am I clear? Robin, are you there? Robin, are you there?
Yes, Father.
Did you understand what I'm talking?
Yes, Father.
So you see, what we are doing for you is exactly the same. What Paul Ricoeur is saying. In forgiveness, we look at the person, not at the mistake. If you look at the mistake, you are out. Robin, are you there?
Yes,
Can
Father.
you see me? Can you
Yeah.
see me? See.
Yes, yes.
But we are good people here.
I know,
So
Father.
he says, okay. So you see, we are looking at the person more than his or her, this one, what is that, for the actions. So he says, that's why forgiveness is something superb, something beautiful, something very, very human, magnanimous. So these, there are many other points on Paul Ricoeur we have to study, because in the notes there are many points that are given. So you'll have to read, and I will continue. Tomorrow I will not take class. Tomorrow I am not taking class. What? Listen, cool down. Listen, cool down. Tomorrow I am not taking class, but that does not mean that you have no work. Lucas, that means you have more work